Have you ever wanted the energy and aggression to murder an entire family with a McDonald's fry fork? Are you emo? Do you ever need an escape from the increasing reality that we're all just living inside of a simulation? Well, if you answered yes to any of these, then you may as well just see a psychiatrist. Because in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make DEATHSTEP.
Deliver us from evil.
You may be asking yourself, what's a dubstep? Well, dubstep is a subgenre of dubstep. Listening to dubstep makes you want to kill someone and gives you the required energy to do it. With that aside, let's get to making it. First, you're going to want to add some really spooky risers and background effects. Make sure to add this low droning effect. And this siren. These really fill up the mix. And don't forget to set the tempo to 150 BPM. Next, add some choirs and some background strings, specifically staccato strings. Then for the intro drums, you're going to want to make just a simple rap beat. Make sure to include this pan snare, but make it really quiet and faded in so it doesn't interfere with the rest of the drums. Now add this thick reese. Now you're going to want to add some guitar loop or play the guitar yourself or use a contact instrument. In this case, I actually played the guitar, so here's what it sounds like. Now you're going to want to add some build-up drums and some risers. Make sure you add this plugin. As the build-up continues, you're going to want to increase the intensity. Now add some really deep vocal shout. Now for the drums, just get your basic kick, and then you're going to want to use a pan snare mixed with a normal dubstep snare, you know? And just add those rides and hi-hats. Now to start out the drop, you're not going to want any sub in the very beginning to prepare yourself for the main element of the drop, which is the machine gun sounds or whatever kind of style you're going for. So what I did is I layered 2 blast breaks on each other with some feedbacking, and then a bell, and then a reverse yoink. Sounds like this. Now for the fun part, the machine gun bass. So for this, I used a layer of reese bass, which is basically the same reese as before, but with different processing. It has 2 NASCO enhanced presets. It's kind of like OTT, but it's a little more geared toward like dubstep production. It was made by NASCO. It's in its Discord server. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to join it. And then some post saturation. And I have some pre-distortion on the actual reese itself, and it has some noise with a distorted sub, or a distorted sine, a unison saw, and this is the bend plus minus wavetable. This is in phase plant, because I don't use serum anymore. Now for the first layer, this is just some resampled thing I put in Quanta, which is a granular synthesizer. And then I have some, well, let's hear it first. And that's basically a, just some resampled little thing. And now I have some stereo information with a free plugin. Stereo width and safe bass. I cut the sub anyway, but just to be safe, you know what I mean? Safe bass for a reason. And there was a noticeable change in sound. Then a vocoder. Now here's where the magic happens. See, I add an LFO tool, but I'm actually not using any LFO modulation. You can use serum effects, that works just as well. You make sure it's not using any volume automation, and then you turn on the filter, the reverb filter from here, because it has the same serum filters. Low cutoff and medium to high reso, and they make it sound like from this to this. That's also a Mastodon, or Marauda as he calls himself now. It makes his signature bass style, his donk bass, but now with some multi-band compression and saturation, it sounds like this. With some pitch automation with the elastic pitch, which is the best post-processing pitch plugin I've ever seen in my life. And with some EQing. Now here's where the real crunch comes in, is with the main bass. Basically how I have this set up, straight out of the facepoint, that's what it sounds like. It's just some growl wavetable from Cymatics, and it's just automating up with this LFO. And then what I'm doing here is I'm adding some dimension to it with some other more stereo with this dimension expander. I'm adding a enhance, one of these, the LFO tool with the reverb filter and higher resonance. This is what it sounds like before this. After. See, that's a world of difference right there. And you can just experiment with the cutoff. Don't use the same cutoff every time. You're going to want to switch it up. Now to continue, I got some more stereo information coming in here. More saturation. As you can see here, I have added input, a little bit output, and lower, well, you put it higher up here, but like, you know what I mean? Okay. Then I have some, limiting going on there, and then EQ. Now together. Now with the Reese. And also, what you're going to want to do with the DEATHSTEP, especially like more of a Code Pandorum style, you're going to want to cut a lot of the high frequencies. And here you got the bass group. What I have it doing here is I have a reverb chain, so I have a reverb chain and a dry chain. I have this going -20, and then I have the reverb being side chained by the input. See, the reverb just comes back up right when the basses stop hitting. Next in the bass group, I have this plugin. A better one, Nasco showed on his live stream. I think it's his Sunday live stream. That one is really good. He showed off one plugin, but, you know, I couldn't get the crack for that. I can only get the crack for this one, if you know what I mean. So, this one still works fine. You just gotta set up the settings right, like these settings you're gonna play with, and make sure the sub is not being affected. And then you got this. You're gonna want to do these fills here. And these, you want this going through the bass group, the fills, but this one you do not want going through the bass group. This goes straight to the side channel. These you want going to the bass group. And yeah, that's the main idea of the filter. So then what I do here is I automate the filter cutoff of the LFO tool with the reverb filter. So then it goes up in the filter. Now, what I have here is I have it going up in pitch. You just want to make the variation of this part, this initial fill. Now this growl, I love this growl. This is by Al5, but it's not. I edited it, of course. This is the original. I pitched it with elastic pitch. I wanted it to pitch more down, but I like the initial sound of the growl, so I kept it. And then I have some of my own post-processing. And this is another Al5 sound. I was looking through this pack, and I just really wanted to use the sounds. I have this pitched down three semitones, and pitched in key. And then I vocoded it, elastic pitched it, so I have it automating throughout on the pitch. Yeah. And then I have my own. Okay, so on one chain here, I have the reverb filter. So, no, on this one, I have a crystallizer. And if you want to know what that sounds like, but I have it a low mix. And they kind of tend to phase cancel a little bit, which I kind of like actually. And then here I have some like company growl that I've also pitched. With similar post-processing to that, with more dimension. I actually might end up repitching that later to make it even crazier, but continuing. I made these myself. I had to burn this to audio because of the CPU. What I was going for here was more of a kind of how they do some of those like Skrillex growls, so they have that like high frequency. But I didn't want to use like, I didn't want to make it into a growl. So what instead I did is I used the resonators and I didn't use comb filtering, but I used this filter, the auto filter, and I did a huge peak, and then reversed it basically. And with this, with the multiband dynamics, which is the enhanced preset, without it, it sounds like this. And then I'm boosting it back with the M saturator. In the glue compressor, I cut like 11 dB threshold and then boost it 7. That just makes it not clip and stuff like that. So it sounds better in the mix. And then I have some like Riddim stuff here. This is some like Riddim preset you'd use, or not really preset, but like it's where you have like a really fast delay. And this one is a similar thing than this. It's very similar, but with different rhythm, and it's a different wavetable. That was just generally higher in pitch and it's more noise based. And this one, the sub frequencies weren't good, so I ended up layering a reese onto it. This was a really sick reese that Al5 made. He's just a great sound designer. but I wanted to add more initial pitching, so I wanted to really pitch it up so that's why I did that. And I have it slowly fade out with a reverb out of this. And I'll probably edit that part later. That's just to know what the initial idea is. I'll probably put like a almond break in there to fill up the gaps. But yeah, that's pretty much the track. I'm gonna play from the beginning now. Show you how it sounds like.